Good afternoon. I call this meeting, the Community Development Board, to order on April 15th, 2025. Welcome, everyone. If everyone could please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This board consists of 7 members and 1 alternate who are appointed by the City Council and serve voluntarily. I am Michael Butskas, and I will ask the other members and the staff to introduce themselves, starting on my left.
Andy Park. O'Grady Hooker Report. Mike Mastrisario.
Jay Daniel, attorney for the board.
Rosemary Call, City Clerk.
Matthew Midge, Assistant City Attorney.
Ted Kozak, Development Review.
Lauren Matzke, Planning and Development.
Diane Etchinelli.
Kurt Heinrichs.
Andrew Hupp.
Thank you. Please remember to turn off your cell phones so they do not become a distraction during the meeting. Please also refrain from having conversations in this room so that we might hear all the testimony given today. To ensure a complete record of this board's actions, we ask that each individual wishing to speak, including the applicant, speak into the microphone at the podium in front of us. Clearly state your name and spell your last name for the clerk. Now I'll ask all those in attendance today who plan to speak to please rise and be sworn by the clerk.
Raise your right hand. Do you affirm to tell the truth throughout your entire testimony? Yes.
Thank you. Agendas of today's meeting are on the podium to your left near the entry door. Also on this podium are a roster of the Community Development Board, the list of city staff experts and their resumes, the board's rules of procedure, and the annual schedule of this board. Our first order of business today is to review and approve the minutes from last month's meeting. May I have a motion for approval of the minutes?
I motion to approve the minutes of the last board meeting.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
There is a Scrivener's error that I will correct with the Deputy City Clerk at the end of where it says, instead of adjourning the meeting, it says to call to order. So
Okay.
if you trust me with that correction, and I will make sure to get with her to see what time it actually adjourned. It just says call the meeting to order again. So that's the error.
Okay. Very good. I appreciate you catching that, and we'll accept that with the correction. Okay, continuing on. At this point, we have, for items not on the agenda, if there's anybody here today from the public that wishes to speak on a matter that is not on today's agenda, please come forward to the podium and address the board.
Not on the agenda.
These would be items not on today's agenda, correct?
My name is Kevin Sexton, S-E-X-T-O-N. Hello, Community Development Board. I'm here to speak about 848 Dempsey Street, if I may.
That's one of the items on the agenda.
It is on the agenda?
Yes. So,
Okay.
and it may be continued, but this is on the agenda. It's not the appropriate time to be addressing that particular matter because we can't take any testimony at this point.
No problem. I'd also like to leave some photos with you.
Is there anybody else who wants to speak on any items that are not on today's agenda? Seeing none, this board has adopted a consent agenda format, and the consent items are identified as such on the agenda. Before I go into that, we did receive at the last moment a request on, let me get the matter number. Agenda, there you go, there it is. On FLD 2024-04010 at 848 Dempsey Street, and the request was to continue it by the applicant. Now I'm going to take that out of order. Do we have an explanation or just?
The applicant's here if you'd like to.
Okay. Did you want some more time to respond to what people have asked about the property?
If I could, that'd be great, because I didn't realize it was going to be any.
Yeah, take
Please come forward to the microphone and just state the reason for your continuance, so that way we can make it part of the record.
Just records it and make sure everyone can hear it.
Thank you very much. I would like to just extend my proposal to change the residential zoning till a later date,
Okay.
the next meeting.
All right. All right, so we have a motion from the applicant, a request from the applicant to continue this matter to a later date that's not specified. Jay, do we usually pick a date certain, or do we?
You can do it either way, but really what you're talking about is the requirement to read notice on behalf of the city. So I think if you,
We would renotice it because of the recent, I think there's a court case, so we would, doesn't matter if it's to a date certain or not, we're gonna renotice it and re-advertise it.
All right, so it'll be renoticed when the time is when it gets set. Does anybody have any questions of the applicant, or do I have a motion to continue FLD 2024-04010?
Applicant, did we get your name?
Oh, please, sir, could you please state your name for the record and spell your last name?
Matthew Tiernan, Tiernan.
Thank you.
I have a motion to continue with FLD 2024-0401, a flexible development approval.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion amongst the board members? All in favor?
Could I make one comment? So when we continue these, all the people that show up, they get very frustrated about not being noticed. So is there a sign-up sheet or something that can allow them to be noticed when that date is, as a part of this approval?
Not through my office. If they're here, it's because they're within that designated area that they've received notice of it. But if they come and they sign one of these comment cards, I'll be more than happy to pass that along to my deputy to make sure that they receive the notice.
Okay.
But it's not part of the process. There's not a separate, so I have to assume they're here because they received notification. So the same list that was created during the original, they'll receive it again.
Okay.
'Cause
So
we'll
if they
use
got
the same-
notice before, they'll get notice this time. If they didn't get notice before, but they're here to speak today, they can
They
fill out a
can-
comment card, and you'll have your office send them a courtesy
Correct.
notice.
And there's a sign on the property saying.
And there's a sign on the property as well, okay. All right, I'm gonna do it again, just so the record's clear as you started talking. All in favor? Aye. All opposed, any opposed? None? Okay, so the item FLD 2024-04010 is continued. Those of you here today to speak on that matter or address that matter, if you got notice, you'll get new notice. If you didn't get notice, please give the clerk, fill out a comment card with your contact information. The clerk will notify you when it gets reset on our agenda. Continuing on with our regular agenda items.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Am I done?
You're done.
You're done.
I will contact everybody that had their comments. I've never seen any other comments before.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Consent agenda items are those items for which the Planning and Development Department recommends approval, and the applicant is in agreement with any proposed conditions. Please note that written comments in the case that have been received to date do not result in the item being removed from the consent agenda. Items may be removed from consent agenda today by a member of the board, a member of the staff, or any person in the audience for questions or objections. I'll read each item on the consent agenda items, and if any person wishes to remove this item from the consent agenda, please so state or raise your hand, and we will remove it from the consent agenda. Items removed from the consent agenda will be heard in the regular order of the meeting. Items that remain on the consent agenda will be approved with a single vote as to each type of hearing. The remaining item on the consent agenda for today is FLD 2025-01001, flexible development approval for the property at 417 Corbett Street to operate a facial spa. Does anybody wish to have this item removed from the consent agenda? Seeing none, may I have a motion for approval of level 2 applications remaining on the consent agenda?
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
That's FLD 2025-01001.
All in favor? Or do I have a second? I'm sorry.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. We have no regular agenda items beyond that, so moving on to the director's report. Anything?
I don't have anything today. Thank you.
Okay.
No, thank you.
Any board members need to be heard on any matter? There being none, adjourn today's meeting at 1:09.
All right.